Hi, Tea Society. Welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we are checking out Tower of Gods Season 2, Episode 18. And we've officially gotten into workshop battle stuff. Miseng is on the warpath, which I love for her, given some of the things that she has to deal with. I think she deserves to be a little scary for a little while. And, of course, we have Beta entering into the story, which I'm going to be pretty disappointed. I feel like the moment that he has to do fighting or whatever because of the way the animation has been going, but we'll see. I want to have a kernel of hope that, like, maybe, just maybe, near the end of the season, it'll pick up a bit, but I'll probably be disappointed. In 3, 2, 1, go. Starting with Prince. I'm assuming like right after they got kidnapped. Because he's not all beat up. It's a good question. Poor little thing. Very, very creepy. That's who she is. Appropriate reaction. Huh? They have more sibling energy, don't they? Yeah, there's a creepy tone there. Oh, okay. Yeah, hi. Run away. Run very, very far away. Do not put the flowers on. Yes, you should be suspicious. Well, maybe don't be disrespectful. Yeah, she's thinking about it because she does want to be powerful, right? Hence the scariness later. We're just not noticing the fact that she put it in her hair. I feel like, Prince, you could have, like, waited a little bit faster. You could have done something. You know, before the demon took over. I do like her having a scary storyline, though. Because I feel like she is very much played up to this point of, like, the little sister character, right? Like, she's this kid that has found herself going on this journey through the tower with her sister. And, you know, it isn't, like, probably the strongest on the team in terms of just, like, jumping into fights and all of that. And then to have a storyline where she gets to be, like, the really scary one. It's just, like, love it. And it's some great foreshadowing of, like, the potential that she has, right? So, as scary as it is, I do appreciate it being part of her arc. Which I guess I haven't, like, seen a lot of because of how the story's going for me right now. Man, there's so much stuff happening. I'm getting to the end of season 2 of the Webtoon and dang. The more stuff that keeps happening, I'm just like, I was woefully unprepared. But, here we are anyway. Ugh. I'm so, like, in the face-off between Beta and Bob, I'm like, are y'all gonna do it justice or am I gonna be disappointed? Ah, yes. You have to deal with Mad Dog. Oh, you're healed now. Great for you. The sound design is It's settling. I definitely would not have picked a fight with her. Dang! Let's go. There's a bit of weight behind that one, though, which is something I was talking about in the other fight scenes, and I'm like, I feel like there's not enough weight behind some of these hits. Ah, I guess, yeah, because Shibuya would know. I'm reminded of stuff that happened, because I'm like, this is not one of the craziest things that happened in this whole arc. Off the bat, it was funny in this context. I mean, you healed incredibly quickly, so are you still injured? Arcraptor's face, I'm just like, oh, oh. Bit anticlimactic, but I like that they're all color coded with their bats. It's worth a try. Just gonna like mock her. It's one way to convince him. Just hovering in the air this whole time. Shonen logic. Easier said than done. It was worth a try. Oof. You used to be boast about how powerful you are. Prove it. I don't know, those ropes sound like they're barely hanging on. It's way more complicated than that. Oh yeah, there's all that baggage. It's a lot of faith in her. Yeah, I'd be collapsing right after that. I'd be like, jeez. Just with that one phrase, it's like, just take my heart. I could feel like, and that was like a test round. Everyone gets the rules now. Now for the real event. I love that Prince is like, I'm a heckle. I love that that's about we see his eyes. Just. Nope. I do like that one of them is just Sean. I love the naming in this series because it's everything from like the craziest mixture of like, you know, different parts of the world, different cultures and stuff, and then it's like Sean. Yep. Teddy bear. Oof. They're just hanging out. Ah, he's insane, but I love him. From a distance, you know, comfortably from a very far distance away. Look, the problem is that one of you is upset about killing people and one of you isn't. This voice actor's having so much fun. I love how unimpressed she is. Except one. Surprisingly, I do remember this guy because I remember being like, dude, back out. Yeah, that's why I remember him. Yup. Yeah, because those always work out well. The fact that we're talking about someone who's like, oh, he cut ties, like you could just leave. It's still impressive that he was just like, I'm gonna just hulk my way out of here. Yeah, very untrustworthy of anything Emily said from the very beginning. Main event. Like, take it easy. We're walking pretty slow for someone who says that they're gonna finish this quickly. You remember this, because this becomes a continuing motif of him being like, leave me alone. Nobody will. But politely, he's just like, could you not do that? Thank you. Oof. Continues to also be a conversation where he's just like, I'm not a god who's just gonna like make things happen for you, right? Unnamed. That guy. Yeah, when will that ever come up again as a thing that people use to manipulate the characters in this series? Again, oh my god, where I'm at right now. In the webtoon. We didn't even get to see anything. Interesting too to be like, everyone, the reason that people are, you know, worship a god or whatever is because I can get something out of it, as opposed to like faith all the time, right? Like, do people actually believe in who Violet is and what he's doing, or do they want to get something out of it? Hello again. I mean, you hyped that up for like a still frame, but okay. Ugh. The real showdown. Rematch. I like how they're both just like interesting. Man. It's a shame that that matchup is probably going to disappoint me too. I feel like, okay, first off, sound design is always good in this. I think that the sound design that we got with like Miseng's part where she was like possessed with the like doll power thing just like really worked. Again, like again, bringing in some of those like horror elements. And I feel like it would have been more fun to kind of lean into that a little bit more. But again, animation being what it is. But I think one of the saving graces for me is going through all this again is some of the foreshadowing that's happening and some of the things that continue to come up, like the face off between like someone like a Slayer nominee with Violet and a Princess of Jihad like Dorsey, right? Like that matchup, and people continuing to pin those two things against each other because obviously like one is associated with Foog, which is opposed to Jihad, right? So like having those two sides opposed is like something that comes up in like the whole conflict between those two groups, but it's being simplified down into these like younger people who have been forced into these roles and manipulated to fight those battles for those groups or on behalf of those groups. So I think that's also interesting. And then going into the worship of Violet and Bam and how he looks at that continues to be a thing that comes up, and like him struggling with the fact that he has a bunch of power, but also like is just a person and doesn't always like make the best decisions or can't always make the best decisions, or even though he has a bunch of power, he can't like fix everything, right? Like he doesn't have that ability or that like omniscience to like really know how to fix absolutely everything that's going on, even if like he can empathize with what's going on. So it's fascinating to get reminded of some of those pieces being put together like earlier on in the season, again going into me being much farther in like the webtoon and getting closer to the end of the season 2 of the webtoon. I still have quite a ways to go, but getting into more of the stories as things kind of like wind up closer to the getting to the end of that season. And I just think it's interesting to get through some of those things. But man, the amount of like still frames in this is disappointing. There was a bit of weight behind some of Miseng's moves though, which is something that I said in other things of the episodes, where one of the things with the animation that got to me was that it didn't feel like there was a lot of impact behind things. It was Hots specifically. I'm like, I feel like there's not enough impact between the way that he's fighting, because there is kind of this rage motivating him when he was going up against Cassino, and I would have liked to have felt some of that in like the weight of his moves. But it is what it is. I can dream of other ways. Have people like reanimated some of the fights? I feel like that would happen at some point. Like a fan would just be like, fine, I'll do it myself. That would be fun. Unless I have to be that person. I don't want to be that person, okay? I really don't, but I could, I guess. But I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this place to go and see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so next time I post a Tower of God reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.